We're going to tie a Film Critic emerger pattern. We have a size 12 emerger hook. We have a dry fly hackle. We'll use the darker mallard for the tail, copper rib, some superfine dubbing, and maybe we'll throw a little hare's ear in there too. Tie in the tail, tie in the rib, superfine dubbing rope, wrap the body, wrap the rib. Tie in your post/wing. I put a few wraps of thread around the base of the post. Wrap your hackle parachute style, traveling up and then back down the post, and then tie off at the base of the post. Thorax dubbing rope, hare's ear. Put the first wrap behind the base of the post. I want to try to make it look as bulbous as possible. Fold over the wing. Trim the wing with a slight angle. Interesting pattern using that hackle stacker technique. We're going to tie a mystical cripple. We're going to do some superfine olive dubbing. We're going to tie this as a blue wing olive emerging fly. We have our yarn material for the wing, a hackle, dry fly hackle, and then a piece of gray foam. I might need a smaller piece of foam, but it seems like the foam is what makes distinguishes this fly from the other emerger patterns. We'll use this barred mallard flank feather for the tail. Tie in the tail. Sparse dubbing rope for the body. Wrap the dubbing. Tie in your foam. This piece of foam is going to be folded over. Tie in your crystal flash. Fold the foam over. I added a small bump of dubbing under the foam. Tie in your hackle. Gap between the two pieces of foam will tie in the post. Wrap your hackle. I would just do a couple turns. There's a lot of things that can float on this fly. At first I was a little skeptical, but I could see how it's constructed like a lot of the modern dry fly patterns with the foam, and then you tie the hackle over the foam, and then the foam comes back incorporated into the head. So I thought that was interesting. The crystal flash coming out as the wings or legs, it does give it a little bit of pop. And you certainly could trim those off if you feel like they were a hindrance. Overall, definitely a pattern I would fish. However, maybe because of the parts, maybe it'd be better for a bigger Mayfly emerger pattern. We're going to tie a pattern called the Leatherman. It essentially is CDC over peacock, but we're going to tie it as a Mayfly emerger. So we'll do legs with the hackle. We'll also use the hackle for the tail fibers. We're going to strip a CDC quill, tie in a short abdomen, and then use the remainder of the peacock quill. We'll use the remainder of the peacock quill for the thorax, and then we'll fold over the CDC for the wing. Gently rub your thumb and index finger over the peacock curl in one direction. Repeat until all the fibers start coming off. You don't have to put much tension on it. And then this is your quill. We'll use this for the body. It also doesn't have to be perfectly clean. A little stragglers sometimes gives a good effect. Tie in the tail and then tie in the quill. Wrap the quill for a more durable fly. Put a thin coat of super glue, and you can wrap the quill over the super glue. 2 loose wraps over the CDC. This will be folded over, so you're going to need to measure how much it's going to take to fold over and then create the wing. You don't want the wing to be too big as we're tying an emerger pattern. Tie that CDC back. The abdomen will be short, the thorax will be long on this pattern. Prepare your hackle. This is the same feather I used for the tail fibers. I stripped the fibers from one side, and for the tie, it's just going to be one turn of hackle. You don't need much. Tie in your peacock, wrap it, leave some space between the eye of the hook, and then tie in your hackle. Wrap your hackle one turn and then fold over the CDC across the back of the peacock. It doesn't want to ride too low. We're going to tie a sprout emerger. This is a West Coast fly. It's got a foam parachute post. I'm gonna pre-tie that with on this shank I use for my extended bodies. We'll use the pheasant for the tail, biot for the abdomen, hare's ear for the thorax, and then we have a grizzly hackle for the parachute hackle. I'm going to start the body of the fly with an olive thread. I'm going to tie the parachute post with a mono thread. The idea of this fly is that the main body of the fly hangs under the foam post with the hackle. I'm going to exaggerate that, so I'm going to tie the hackle, and there's going to be a gap at the top of the post, and then there'll be a gap, and then the post will attach to the fly. Start wrapping your mono thread around your metal extended body shank, and then tie in your foam. You can experiment with different types of foam, different shapes of posts, but this triangular angled one I think looks the cleanest. Tying your hackle, the hackle tip pointed toward the base of the post. We're going to wrap up toward the top of the post. We'll tie off at the top of the post. Wrap your hackle, whip finish, and slide the foam off of the shank. Tie in your tail, tie in the biot tip first, wrap the biot, and then tie in your post. Trim off that extra end of foam that's connected to the hook. Hare's ear dubbing rope. I wasn't able to get the post as clean as I would have liked. The mono is kind of bulging out a bit. I need to take more time on that. But it seems like a sprout emerger is just a parachute wrapped around a foam post. The design being the body of the fly will hang under the post like an emergent. So we'll check that out, see if it works. And I'm thinking in terms of like practical usage, still water or Spring Creek, slow water, smaller size. Perhaps you could fish in winter, mid-emerger. But interesting concept, and I'm glad I tied it. So we'll see you on the next one. The concept is valid. It seems to function as the design intended. We're going to tie a soft hackle dry. We'll use this olive saddle for the tail. We have some dry fly hackle we'll use as traditional dry fly hackle. Hen soft hackle for the legs, and then the abdomen will use this olive superfine dubbing. Tie in the tail. It doesn't need to be sparse, but it shouldn't be too long. So it can be material heavy, but just keep it short. Dub about halfway up. Clip and trim the hackle. Split your thread, insert the material, spin it up. I preen the feathers to one side. Go ahead and wrap your material. Prep and tie in your hackles. I'm using oversized hackles for this. This is a size 12 hook, and these hackles are way too big for traditional 12 dry fly. Wrap your hackle. Looks like a soft hackle with a dry fly hackle. You gotta see this thing in the water to appreciate it. So here we go. No floating, just blow on the dry fly hackle. You can blow on the whole thing, but it sits extremely low in the water. To me, that hangs better than any foam emerger or bubble or CDC.